Hey, good evening. So I went and got this Warrior 4.3 amp slide switch angle grinder, 12,000 R. It says fast stock removal, but that would depend on what grinding wheel you used. So kind of strange, and which are sold separately. 58089. They had a sale a while back where if you bought so much stuff, you got a free one of these. They're positioning the Warrior line to take the place of the Drill Master line, and they've just about done that. There's only a few things left that's Drill Master, and you're seeing more and more of those be discontinued and coming back as Warrior for a lot more. I think the list on this is like 20 bucks, but if they're putting it on sale for $5, it's worth $5. This will go on either side, of course, standard setup. And they still go with this forked wrench with the pegs on it. I'm not real fond of that, but it's as good a way as any, I guess. So there's the front arbor, very small flange, but they're very important. And the back flange is keyed so that it stays on the blade good. There's a flat spot on the spindle, and there's flat spots on the back of this. So there, it looks like it's not in all the way, but it is. A lot of you have commented on my little mini workbench. It was inspired by one that Pask made. And look him up on YouTube. Very good channel. And I just put together a simplified version. But if you join Maker's Mob now, you can get the plans for this for free with some videos showing how to make it. Just want to show it grinding. Looks a lot like new model of the Drill Master. It's a little different than the older model, but the newer model. I got the rear flange on. I got to do this. There's a hump in the middle of this that goes down, gets you away from that motor, and it goes. There's a raised place on the back flange, and that kind of sits around it. And this one, you turn this flange so that the ridge is up. Then turn it over, put it on, tighten it up, press this button, and that's the motor lock. I'll press that motor lock and tighten this, and as I rotate that shaft, that motor lock will fall into a hole, so it goes underneath the surface, and that locks the motor so that I can tighten it. If you over tighten this, next time you go to take it off, it'll be a lot harder to get off. So just do normal, not too much, not too little. Now they make the statement that this is a slide button. The slide button actually is okay. Some people think it's not safe because you can lock it on, but it comes off very easily. The paddle switches, you can also set those paddle switches down on the table and possibly turn them on just like you could leave this on. But you see how that rocks. You never want to set a grinder like this. You always want to put it on its back. You think it might take off, well, you don't know. Let's give it a shot. Now, by default, you push that on, and when you let off, it stops. But it does have a hold, and that hold is, if you press the front of it and press it in, it'll stay. And you saw that you just hit that bottom and it releases. So if you push it in and push the top down, it'll stay, and you just barely tap that and it'll come off. It's not as dangerous as it would seem. You hear how noisy this is? That noise is not really a great thing. There is a 90-degree turn in this, and those gears run against each other, and they never put enough grease in that. I have a video of taking apart the Drill Master, and it should be close to the same for this, so you should be okay. But I highly recommend you replace the grease in this. Make it a lot quieter, make it last longer too. So let's just try cutting. And lay it down like that. So most certainly did the job. Now it says fast cutting, but in reality, the blade does the cutting. So if your blade is good, it'll cut fast. If it's not good, it'll cut slow. The 12,000 RPM is what I think they're referring to. It says 2021 on this, so it's been out for a while. They typically print these manuals months before they actually release a new tool. If you go to my website, I've got all these manuals. It's a grinder. It's tough. It'll last. I've got a video where I used it for 6 hours straight. Didn't even affect it. Still ran just as good when I was done as when I started. So I think it's a great grinder. Changed the body since the original Drill Master. They came out with this model in the Drill Master right before they switched to Warrior. Good tool. Works great. If you want to take off the wheel, again, put your wrench in here. Press the motor lock. As I do this, eventually that'll fall down in the hole and lock the motor so that I can actually take this off. There we go. There we go. A cheap grinder, but a grinder doesn't have to do a lot except spin the motor. Not a real complicated tool. And believe it or not, it's so simple, it'll last a long time. My original Drill Master I've had for close to 10 years. So there we go. Good tool. No reservations about this one, but you do need to replace the grease. I say replace the grease, but in reality you need to add grease to fill it up. So if you like the videos, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.